Good morning. My name is Karen Gustin. I am the director here at the Kentucky Equine Adoption Center. Welcome to Bus to Business. We're really happy that you have signed up to talk with us more about what we do here at the center. What we're going to do is a short tour around our farm, and then there will be a question and answer session afterwards. And we can talk more in detail about the operation here, the logistics of how horses come in and go out, and also about what running a nonprofit is all about, and some of the skills that you would need to develop to work at a place like this, but also skills that you would need to develop just basically to work successfully in any career that you choose. As I said, my name is Karen, and I've been here since 2012 at the Kentucky Equine Humane Center, and we are a private nonprofit horse rescue, the largest all-breed rescue here in the state of Kentucky, and we take in any type of equine, from miniature horses to mules, donkeys, and horses. And we take them from situations of abuse and neglect, or from owners who can no longer care for them. And our whole goal is to help these horses move on to a future home with an adopter, very similar to the Humane Society for small animals. And we work really hard to put the right horse with the right person. So we're going to take a tour of the farm, and we have 72 acres here and 50 horses at any given time. So our horses are any breed. I mentioned we are the largest all-breed facility here, but about 50% of what we have at any given time is thoroughbred. And that is on purpose because of where we're located here. As you all know, thoroughbreds and the racing industry are, a huge economic driver here in central Kentucky, and so because of that, we have at least 50% of our horses here as thoroughbred. After that, it's anything: quarter horses, Appaloosas, standard breds, saddlebreds, mixes, the whole gamut of any kind of breed of horse. So we're going to walk over, and I'll just point out some of our pastures and also talk a little bit about the outreach that we do here globally. So we also see other things here besides horses, and this is kind of a neat little thing that's happening right now. This is a female killdeer who has decided to lay 4 eggs on this gravel path that we walk on every day. Equipment comes down this path, horses go up and down this path, and she has laid her nest right in the middle. Fortunately, it's between the wheel tracks, but because this nest is here, we're trying to be careful, obviously, leading horses in and out. But working on a farm is fun because you see other animals, obviously, besides the horses. We've had skunks and raccoons raise families here. So it'd be really cool to see what happens with those eggs. If she was not so upset, we'd go over and give you a close-up of the eggs, but because she is upset, I don't want to stress her out anymore. But there are 4 eggs, they're about this big, and they're creamy color with black spots, and they blend in perfectly with the gravel here. So it's just fun to see different things like that here. I'm going to point out one thing to you. If you look out this way, you will see a pole that looks kind of like a light post. And that is a webcam that you can access on a website called explore.org. Explore.org is the online web presence for a private family foundation called the Annenberg Foundation. And working in a nonprofit like this is challenging because we don't receive any government or state funding. All of our revenue comes from donations, special event fundraisers, direct mail, and grants. So the primary goal of managing a nonprofit like this is to be creative and diverse in the way we get our message out to the public. The whole purpose of getting that message out to the public is to engage people, and hopefully that engagement will result in some kind of support, either in kind or financial. And every day we are working to find creative ways to talk to people to get them to support what we're doing. All of our horses live outside in herds, and The main thing about horses to understand is most of them don't want to stay in barns excessively. Horses like to be outside, they like to be with their friends, they like to walk around, and they like to eat. And if you can provide an environment for a horse to do that, they're generally pretty happy. So we have very big fields. You can see these geldings here are in field 1, we have field 2, and if you look out this way, you will see this green-sided building that's called a run-in shed, and those are the shelters in every field for horses to get into if it's raining, snowing, super windy, or just really, really cold. Having said that, it's not uncommon to have it be pouring rain and everybody's standing right outside the run-in shed, so go figure. Horses are pretty hardy animals. If they're healthy, they generally do fine in all types of weather. So we're firm believers in having them live outside in natural herds. And the only time they're really in the barn is if they're sick, waiting for a farrier or a veterinarian, or recovering from some kind of injury or illness. So one thing about working on a farm, and just really any kind of job, and really no matter what you're doing, whether it's punching the cash register at Speedway, working in a library, working for a nonprofit, working for a big company like Walmart, is safety. And we take safety here very seriously. Horses are big animals. You know, the average weight is 1,000 to 1,200 pounds. They can be unpredictable. And so every farm that you see here in Kentucky should have some kind of warning sign, which releases us theoretically from liability should some kind of accident occur here. And everything we do here with employees and with the public has safety in mind so that we can provide a safe experience for everybody. And we pay a lot of attention to that because it's very important. Here on our farm, of course, we have liability insurance. Any commercial or nonprofit business should have insurance. So we have general liability insurance and workman's comp insurance for our employees. And then there's another type of insurance called directors and officers insurance, which is a type of insurance that covers our board of directors from liability issues. So just wanted to talk a little bit about safety. As I mentioned, the primary goal for all of our horses here at the center is to find an adoptive home. Behind me is Bishop. He is a Tennessee walking horse gelding in very nice shape and in his mid-teens. He is actually going to be looked at by a potential adopter today to see if it's the right fit. When people look at horses, they have to fill out an adoption application first. So we thoroughly vet them. We ask for farrier references, personal reference, and veterinarian reference. We ask for photos of the facility where the horse will be kept. And then we talk to them about what type of horse they're looking for, that kind of thing. And once that application is processed, then the person makes an appointment to come out here and check out any horse that they're interested in, because the application is good for a year and it's good for any horse. So Bishop is being groomed. This is Abby, one of our trainers. Generally what happens is our trainer will get on the horse first, and then the adopter has an opportunity to ride as well. And Lydia is around here somewhere, but if she pops up again, I'll introduce you to her. Lydia is one of our barn workers and also an apprentice trainer. So this is Bishop. We spend time grooming the horse. You know, we want to present the horse in their best light physically, and see if this will be the right fit for him and for the gentleman that's looking at him. In addition to our general horse care and adoption program, we have two other programs that we host here at the center. We are firm believers in education, and so every public tour, every outreach program that we do is really about education. And our two main education programs are called Take the Reins, which was originally started and geared towards 4th grade, but we've actually branched out and serve kids from 1st grade up through high school. And the purpose of Take the Reins is to educate kids about horses, how to take care of horses responsibly, which translates really into any animal, and how to give back to the community, which is basically what we do a lot of here. So Take the Reins has been going on for 4 or 5 years now. And this year we started a new program called the SASH program, which is Support a Special Horse. And through a very nice grant from the ASPCA, we have been able to run a pilot program. And the purpose of the SASH program is to work with people who are either very new to horse ownership or who want to eventually get into horse ownership but really don't know anything yet. And so we have an 8 and 16-week curriculum that goes through all different aspects of horse ownership, the biology of horses, horse behavior, budgeting, adoption, that kind of thing. And so this stall is set up for our SASH participants, and that program started a week ago and will run for the next 7 weeks, and then we will run another 16-week program later in the year. So as I mentioned, the ASPCA is one of those supporters, and Alltech is our corporate sponsor for Take the Reins. And without Alltech's support, really, our education program would not be where it is today, so we're very grateful to them for that. The other program that we host here is called Heads Up, Hearts Open. And Heads Up, Hearts Open was started a few years ago now, and that is an equine-assisted learning program. And initially when it started, we offered our farm as a venue and a facility for other professionals to come in and do equine-assisted learning with their clients. Those clients ranged from veterans who are suffering from PTSD to people who want to be trained as equine-assisted learning trainers and facilitators. And we host all of those clinics and workshops here in our arena. Prior to last year, this arena did not look like this. We had a very, very small arena that fit about 2 or 3 horses at a time. And last year received a wonderful grant from the Joanne Gant Charitable Foundation to cover our arena and expand the inside of it. And now we can do all sorts of activities without worrying about rain and sleet and that kind of thing. So we're very grateful to that foundation, and it's really been a game changer for us because now we can have 8 or 9 horses in this arena and up to 10 or 15 people at any given time. So we're very strong proponents of education, and horses are awesome tools to use as ways to educate people about skills such as interpersonal communication, self-awareness, team building, stress relief, that kind of thing. And that's what the Equine Assisted Learning Program is all about. I mentioned too that when horses get surrendered to us, sometimes they're not in very good shape, or they suffer an injury or an illness. So a lot of what we do here is veterinary care. We have awesome veterinary partners with Rood and Riddle Equine Hospital, Haggard Equine Medical Institute, and Park Equine Hospital. There are veterinarians from all 3 practices on our board of directors, and it's very interesting to see what walks through the door here from a medical standpoint. This horse is Occasional Storm. She suffered some kind of ligament or tendon injury in her rear, which has translated to her back leg, and she's on stall rest for a couple of months. The nice thing about our facility here, though, is we can set up these temporary paddocks so that she doesn't have to stay in the barn all the time. As I mentioned before, horses do not want to spend excessive amounts of time in barns. So during the day, she can be in this small enclosure. She's near other horses who are in the adjacent pasture, and then she spends her nights in the barn. So, she's slowly getting better, but injuries like hers are very difficult and take a long time to heal. So we do a lot of veterinary work here at the staff level, and then partner with the veterinarians that come in and dispense medication and do complicated treatments. We're going to finish our tour of the farm at one of our smaller pastures. As you can see, we have small little ponies and miniature horses in this pasture. I mentioned that our horses live in herds. We try to put like horses together based on their breed, based on their physical condition, based on their age, and their personalities. So in this field, starting from the left, we have Aztec, who is that brown and white miniature horse. He came to us from a family in Kentucky, who was not able to provide him with a dry lot. He had foundered, and we can talk more about that later, what founder actually is, and requires a pasture where we can really monitor the amount of food that he eats. So that's Aztec. Next to him is a little chestnut miniature horse named Bourbon, and Bourbon actually came in with the horse that we saw in the barn named Bishop, from an owner who wasn't able to take care of them anymore, but they were both in very good condition. And then this little white pony is Dancer. Dancer is a Welsh cross mare, cute as a button. She's going to be really nice for someone someday. Her challenge is that she doesn't have any sight in her right eye. She still has her eye, but she can't see out of it. So it's not uncommon for horses to not be able to see out of one eye or lose an eye. Generally, they are still able to function very well, and it's not too much of a hindrance. So she's, I'm sure, used to really only relying on one eye most of the time. And then to her left is Taco. Taco is another small pony that was adopted but came back because he just didn't fit in very well with the rest of the horses at the farm that he was at. And so far here, he's fitting in fine with these other little guys. So, you know, every living situation is different. You can never really predict how a horse is going to behave or acclimate. He came back, though, in excellent shape, and we probably shouldn't have any trouble, I don't think, getting him adopted. So this is the mini in the pony field. So that concludes our tour of the center, and I will be available for question and answers. I'd be happy to talk a little bit more just about the specifics of some of the operational things we do here, and also talk a little bit more about the management side of managing a nonprofit and some of the skills that you need to be successful, as I said previously, not just in a nonprofit, but really in any kind of career that you choose to work in. Thanks for watching.